way too rambunctious. Like he was always trying to, give you his rear end. So if I squat down, he sits in my lap, and he's a big dog. They're both kind of overweight, and then the other one's another mutt mix. Maybe, I don't even know, boxer, but she doesn't look like a boxer. Pit or a terrier kind of mix, like a pit bull, but not pit bull. Like she's a mutt. They were both rescues. Domino, she's sweet. And then he was a higher up, a bigwig with the casinos, maybe like Argosy, Isle Capri, and she was an accountant. Because they've talked about how they worked with Trump for a couple of years. Like, was he in the...
Yes.
Yeah, they couldn't stand him, but they had to deal with him for a couple of years. She was like an accountant for like the design team of all the casino hotels side.
Well, in Vegas or Atlantic City?
All of the above. And then they just got into like investing, so they had just different houses, and then they invested in a bunch of pot shops. So they're super pro weed. I swear I'm finding grass weed like on the counters, and I'm like, is this weed? Or is it part of a plant? Do I throw it away? Do I keep it? Like set it aside? They put in like heated floors in the bathroom and big above floor bathtubs. It's really nice. Like, but inviting, like comfortable. Not pretentious at all. But their lot is fantastic. So many trees and a pool, small pool. And I guess lots of people on that street obviously have money, big homes, and they aren't even in those homes most of the time. They go somewhere for winter, or snow bunnies. Is that what they're called? So I know the house across the way is the CEO of Energizer. And I don't remember. He jokingly says the one house is a bunch of strippers, but I don't know if he's joking. Is Bayer big out here, or was it at one time?
Yes.
Okay. I think maybe one of them.
Bayer, the...
B-A-Y-E-R,
Yeah.
the like drug or whatever,
Yeah.
pharmaceutical. Yeah.
Yeah, also crop stuff too.
Yeah.
Boeing used to be a huge employer.
Actually, and I think somebody with Boeing, I mean, maybe not Boeing, but somebody was with Boeing, because I've heard them mention that.
Sandy was a programmer for
Or she was, smarty pants.
Boeing.
So, was down by the zoo, like those big money homes, was that kind of the beginning of the big money homes, and then it just kept working its way west? So, like, as you get into, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so Ladou's not the oldest of the money homes.
No.
Closer to St. Louis would be like St. Louis City or University City area.
Yeah, Central West End.
Okay, that's what I was telling Johnny, and I didn't want to be telling him the wrong thing. I think it kind of built this way,
Yeah.
Well, it definitely built west.
west.
But-
Yeah,
Because
But-
Kansas City's even newer than St. Louis.
yeah. Because one day, we were just kind of out that way, and I just went down Ladue and was like, oh, this is down here. This is where the Burkhalters live, just the area. Because you can't really go down their street. They would see my car.
Yeah.
So I just drove on Ladue. But, so we were kind of just cruising through some of those streets connecting, just trying to go over to Kirkwood. And there's so many interesting homes over there.
Yeah,
like even on the south side of like 64.
Yeah, Webster
Well-
Grove,
Well,
that's
Ladue
old.
actually extends on both sides of 64 by almost
Yeah.
equal amount.
Really? Because, yeah, it's like you go under the highway on the street we were on, so there's not even an exit. You go under 64.
In fact, it's amazingly square in dimensions.
I was like, oh, I think this is still Ladue, but and there were some nice schools along there, like a high school maybe.
Yeah, so I don't know how they got.
They have some private schools, yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder how they got the interstate through the middle of Ladue.
I don't
Because
know.
I cannot see an interstate going through
Well,
the
the
middle of.
interstate runs right, Jennifer's friend, what was her name? She moved to Cleveland.
The black woman?
Yeah. I just can't think of her name right now. But their yard practically
Backed up to the
backed up
highway.
to 64
Yeah, we
because
saw
they had
some of
one
those.
sound barriers.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we were talking about that. I was like, I don't know if I'd really...
No, I wouldn't.
I was like, if I could afford a home there, I probably wouldn't go right next to the highway.
Well, I tell you, I know how they did it now, actually. Because US 40 already existed before Ladue existed, probably. And so
They just built around.
So upgrading it to interstate standards, if it was already multi-lane, probably wasn't that, and adding sound barriers. I mean, they probably didn't change the footprint that much.
Yeah.
And they might have already had an easement for.
I wonder how effective those sound barriers really are.
But I mean, if
That's super effective.
but
I can't imagine. I mean, like,
but I
they
mean,
could just
They're
kind
like 10 feet tall.
of, yeah. It would have to go up much higher, I feel like, to.
yes, yeah, I mean, it depends on the frequency of the sound, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, presumably somebody engineered that.
Almost there, buddy.
Most homes do.
Yeah.
But I mean, I cannot.
Yeah, but we're
im-
not far. We're like close to their
4
exit.
minutes
I mean,
from
I.
the house.
It is inconceivable that an interstate would go through the middle of Mission Hills.
I know! In the middle of Mission Hills.
So, I mean, so that's how they did it. Is that
Uh-huh.
the highway already
Existed, yeah.
insubstantially.
Here's your middle school, buddy. Or no, it's one more.
That's how they
It's coming up.
Yeah.
Because even 30 years ago, the part out to Wentzville
Yeah, it is.
was not even an interstate. It was
Just
40.
a highway,
It was
right?
40.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was a gas station right there
The
at where 64
and 70.
and 60. Yeah.
Yep. Yep,
Yeah.
I know. I know that intersection. I remember my dad talking about it. Wasn't Oh no, that was Big Boys down the way. He was like, this was always our landmark. That Big Boys burger place or whatever.
That's when Jennifer lived across from Forest Park.
No, it was like what he's like. Well, when he was younger, that Big Boys was there.
In St. Louis?
Yes, on 70. It's like
Oh, no.
if you didn't turn off on 64 and you kept heading east
Oh,
on
no, I know
70,
what you mean.
it's that.
Yeah.
It's the thing. The guy, right, holding the
Yeah,
burger.
yeah.
Am I saying the right word? Big,
Yeah,
big
you know
Boys?
that is what it was, and that they were big in Ohio.
Okay. He was like, yeah.
So
stop at that Big Boys.
so that's a part that I almost never drive on anymore.
Right, because we don't have any reason to go that way.
And so even when we lived in
We're
Kansas
almost
City,
home.
going to the
This is Manchester.
Yeah.
so
Keep it together, dude. Well, and there's this pink building I always like. I'm like, look at those pink lights. So catchy.
no, Art Deco.
It's been there with the pink lights forever, John.
Yeah.
I never really noticed it because I'm looking at them,
Yeah.
but it's actually.
'em. Oh, man. 'Cause, you know, I remember, I know that intersection. I remember my dad talking about it. Wasn't, oh no, that was Big Boys down the way. He was like, this was always our landmark. That Big Boys. Oh, man. you know, added on to my days. Just makes for so many, you know, 5 extra hours during the week. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so exhausted. Maybe we have to go to the gym.
I'm eating Breezy at 9:30.
Where are you guys gonna go cash? Do you have like a plan? Or are you just gonna
Yeah,
go?
sort of. She's come up with a plan. I'm just going with her. We're gonna meet down at Simpson,
Oh, okay.
and we're doing a few
Ew.
right, really in Valley Park, sort of.
Really? I never found those appealing at all. Ever.
They were not big sellers either.
I'm like,
Can't imagine why.
were those weird, like remodeled Thunderbirds they did?
Oh,
you know, like ew. Every time I see one, I'm like, oh. I mean, if that's your cup of tea, cool.
I mean, that's how it started out. They went back to their roots. But,
Yeah, yeah.
But a 2-seater is not.
Yeah.
It's not practical.
It's just silly.
But I tell you what.
Tim Duffy had one of those Firebirds. You know, that like. I think she might still have it.
It was like a collector.
Yeah, but ugh, I did not find
They
it
never
appealing
drove.
at all.
It's been kept under a tarp.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you know, we have been watching this Father Brown, and I've kind of been wondering if the size of the cars was period accurate, because so many of them are so tiny.
Uh-huh.
Well, they actually are.
Really?
Because something just popped up testing those cars on the Autobahn. To see
What
in
time?
1955.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I mean, and that's when it just turned to 1954 in the series, and so that is. I mean, I kind of thought they were, but I mean, British cars were so